Okay, so let's talk about how wealth is really built. I'm not talking about winning the lottery or inheriting a fortune. I'm talking about that next level wealth that just seems completely out of reach. We're going to dive deep into this because, honestly, what society teaches us about money might just be the very thing that's holding you back.
All right, first things first, let's get a feel for the numbers. Here's $1,000,000. For a lot of us, this is kind of the dream, right? The definition of making it. It's a big number for sure, but you can still kind of picture it.
Okay, now let's ramp it up. $100 million. All of a sudden, it gets a little fuzzy, doesn't it? This isn't just rich. This is a level of wealth that feels totally abstract, almost like a score in a video game.
And then you get to this, $1 billion. It's such a massive number, it's almost impossible to actually comprehend. And to really blow your mind, some of the wealthiest people on the planet have fortunes over 100 times bigger than this.
And after all those giant, almost imaginary numbers, there's you and me. Most of us, right? Probably working a job, maybe chipping away at some debt, feeling like everything costs a fortune and you're just not getting paid what you're worth. That dream of wealth, it feels a million miles away.
So, why does it feel that way? You know, when you look at those crazy numbers and then you glance back at your own bank statement, it is so easy to feel like you're fighting an impossible uphill battle.
Yeah, it's easy to start thinking the whole system is just rigged, that it's designed for you to lose, that the rich just got lucky, or they were born with a silver spoon, or they cheated the system. It's a really common feeling, and honestly, it's completely understandable. But what if that feeling is wrong?
So let's just bust some of these myths right now. Because the story we've all been sold about how people get rich, well, it's not the whole picture, not even close.
Check this out. Let's just look at the actual data. According to a big report from WealthX on the ultra-wealthy, we're talking people worth over 30 million bucks, a staggering 68% of them are self-made. They didn't inherit it. They built it from the ground up.
And we're not talking about obscure people here. You know these names. Oprah, Howard Schultz from Starbucks, both started out in poverty. Bezos, Musk, Sarah Blakely, Warren Buffett, all self-made. So what's their secret? What did they figure out that most of us haven't? Well, it all starts with the flawed equation we're all taught.
Okay, so this gets to the absolute core of the problem. It's something I call the time for money trap, and it's built on a totally flawed equation that most of us follow our entire lives without even thinking about it.
This is it. This is the simple little formula that society just drills into our heads. The way to make money is to get a good job and earn a salary. Simple, right? Straightforward. And completely, fundamentally broken.
And here is the fatal flaw. A salary directly handcuffs your income to your single most valuable and totally finite resource, your time. You are literally trading hours of your life for dollars. And once an hour is gone, you can never, ever get it back.
Let's make this super real. Say you make 20 bucks an hour working 40 hours a week. It would take you almost 24 years to earn $1 million. And get this, that's before taxes, before paying for, life, and before inflation eats away at it every single year. You trade decades of your one life, and for what? The math just doesn't work.
So, if that old equation is a trap, what's the alternative? Well, this is where everything changes. It takes a complete shift in your mindset. You have to stop thinking about earning money and start thinking about creating value. This is the secret that all those people on that earlier slide figured out.
It all comes down to a simple principle. Let's call it the law of value. In our economy, you don't get paid for how long you work or how hard you sweat. You get paid in direct proportion to the perceived value you bring to the marketplace. And who's the marketplace? It's just other people. All of us.
Think about it like this. A cleaner works incredibly hard, right? It's physically demanding work. But an accountant who sits at a desk gets paid way more. Now, why is that? It's because the market perceives the value of solving a complicated financial problem as being higher than the value of cleaning an office. It's about replaceability. It's not about effort, it's about perceived value.
Okay, so that's the big question, right? How do you create something that has a high perceived value? Well, it's not as complex as you might think. It actually boils down to a pretty simple 3-step game plan. Here it is. This is the blueprint. First, stop chasing money. Instead, find a problem that people have, a real pain point. Second, build a solution to that problem. And third, and this is the absolute key, you have to make that solution scalable. That last step is the magic multiplier.
It's what separates a regular job from a true wealth creation engine.
Let me show you exactly what scale means, because it's a game changer. A yoga teacher who teaches classes in a studio has a non-scalable business. Their income is still capped by the number of hours they can physically teach. But what about an online yoga course? They create the videos once and can sell them an infinite number of times, 24/7, to anyone in the world. The income is completely detached from their time. That's a scalable solution.
And this brings us to the final and, honestly, the most important piece of this entire puzzle. After all of this, solving problems, creating value, building something to scale, what's the real endgame? What's the point?
Let's just ask the question directly. If you go through all this and you build something incredible and make millions, what was it actually for? The money is just numbers on a screen. The real goal, the thing we're all actually chasing, is something so much more valuable.
The answer is freedom. That is the ultimate prize. It was never ever about the money itself. It was always about what the money makes possible.
And freedom isn't some vague concept. It's being able to pay off your parents' mortgage so they can retire. It's being able to travel the world without begging for vacation days. It's never again feeling that knot in your stomach when a huge bill shows up. But most of all, it's the ability to truly own your time, your most precious, non-renewable resource.
So if you take just one thing away from all of this, let it be this thought. The real path to wealth, and way more importantly, the path to freedom, isn't found by chasing dollars. It's found by chasing problems and becoming the person who builds the solution.